How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, thank you. Nice to
Cool.
see you again.
Yeah, same. All right, so we'll just go. Should we just jump right into it? I guess.
Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah, nice. Right.
Me.
So, first question I'm going to ask you is, how did you learn the trade, and what were the challenges in doing so?
Yeah, cool. Good question. So my journey into hair kind of started just the start of 2019, and I was kind of mentored here in Perth, Australia, by one of my friends who kind of got me into cutting hair and taught me the bits and bobs. He actually was a teacher at one of the schools here, so I was fortunate enough to kind of get a little bit insight knowledge to the curriculum that they were teaching and stuff, which kind of gave me, a heads up into the barbering industry anyway. I realized that, like, obviously cutting hair was something I wanted to do. And yeah, that's when I kind of, evolved and took the trip over to the UK to complete my education.
So you came over to LSB. So what couldn't you get in Oz that you had to come all the way to London to find with us?
I think to me it was more about, like, at that point in time, I really just wanted to, like, experience something new. Obviously, I heard good things about the academy in London, and I kind of wanted to be a part of that for sure. So, from an education point of view, I do look up to, obviously, the UK, the way about hair. I feel like it's a lot more adaptive and modern to kind of the current climate and culture. So yeah, I definitely admired that education for sure.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if you noticed or you observed that barbers traditionally are pretty talented with the clippers, but
Of course.
not as skilled with the shears, and perhaps they don't know, like, the layering techniques, building up shape, and building up foundations with the scissors, could kind of to merge the two techniques together to get a different look, I guess.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things, so where I'm from in Perth, in Australia, the barbering course here has only really been around for the past 6 or 7 years. So it is quite new. Not that that's a bad thing or anything, but I guess I kind of wanted to go somewhere where history was kind of a little bit more known.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why, took that step.
Cool. So when you got here to London and you started training your LSB, how would you describe your learning experience here?
Yeah, cool. No, that's a really good question. I guess I've kind of been asked this a lot over the socials and stuff as well. I guess my experience at LSB, it was pretty interesting. My small, like, my class was quite small. I had two clients, or two students, Adam and Salman as well, in the program. I was super fortunate enough to have that intimate kind of that hands-on education.
Yeah.
I was a little bit intimidated at first by, obviously, the journey and accommodation and those things, but once I kind of bypassed that, the school itself was amazing, super accommodating for international and local students. I found that I really connected with my class and my educators as well. It was a really amazing experience.
So it wasn't just a learning experience, it was part of a life experience. Would you describe it as that?
I think so, yeah.
It's like 3 weeks of your time
sure.
of your life where you got to meet new people, enjoy a new city.
Live abroad for a while.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess a lot of my influence comes from that kind of that fashion culture, and I guess at that point in time, I really just wanted to, get away and look at new studios and look at new shops and kind of get a bit of inspiration what was about. I knew I obviously really wanted to have my own studio back home, and work towards if that was fashion or hair or something like that. But obviously, getting the opportunity to live abroad at such a young age and experience that, it came at a time in life where I was really grateful for that too.
Cool. So just tell us about the LSB approach of training, and do you feel like it replicates a real barbershop setting, or is it more like a college?
No, I think there was elements of both, right? So you had the practical and the theoretical as well. what I liked about it was super hands-on. I think that obviously with my class being only 3 students, including myself, I guess I had that intimacy between my educator as well. So I never felt, you know, like I couldn't approach my educator or anything like that. I felt like it was super intimate and hands-on. So that I guess real life barbershop experience kind of comes to life, where obviously you're learning things every day, no matter what and how far into your journey you are. But I think, yeah, having that small group setting, definitely relatable to that hands-on barber experience in a real life situation.
Yeah, it was like you felt intimate, like a family, like it was a
Yeah,
family or
yeah,
something.
definitely. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
nice,
yeah, for
nice.
sure.
So, since the time you were here, tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about your journey post LSB. What have you been doing? Where are you now? What are your visions for the future?
So yeah, I did come back to Australia, and I bought into a studio which I was a part of prior to leaving to LSB. So I had that kind of mentor for my business partner back home, and that was going on for about 12 to 14 months or so in partnership, and then I decided to you know, buy out the remaining half of my shares and yeah, take on the studio completely for myself. And which I had about 3 or 4 staff at the time working for me, which was obviously a great experience. Since then, yeah, I guess I kind of converted into more of a boutique private studio. So it's just myself and one other colleague at the moment. But yeah, you know, I'm super proud of my journey so far. Obviously, learning every day, but I'm getting more into education now. Just signed on a deal with Wall as well, which I'm obviously super proud about. And I guess that's kind of the intro into my next, yeah, career development, personal development as well. Obviously, I love cutting hair on the floor, but education and mentoring other people is something I'm super passionate about.
Cool. So just let us know, how did you get into the relationship with Wall, and let us know how it's going so far. What are they demanding
Yeah.
from you, and what you got to deliver for them exactly?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess a lot of it stems back from obviously social media and stuff as well. And I've always been quite active, and I like to obviously share my journey in a realistic and positive way. But yeah, so my journey with Wall started 2 years ago, just as an ambassador for the brand, obviously endorsing their products and actually experiencing their products too. Learning about it was super interesting. This year, they actually just launched their new education team in Australia. They haven't done that for the past 4 years. COVID kind of threw a bit of a spanner in the works with that. So they kind of like closed down their classes and their showcasing and stuff. But yeah, this year I was super grateful to be asked to join the team with 7 other educators as well around Australia. So I guess that kind of gives us that you know, stage appearance and kind of that group setting too, just giving back to the people in the industry and yeah, showing off the cool products.
Cool. That's great. Great answer. Thank you so much. Okay, so you know, we had the pandemic, and we've got other macro factors that are affecting the economy and stuff like that. So what I want to ask you is that, where do you think barbering is going? Is it growing? Is it peaked? Is it shrinking? What are your thoughts on the industry at the moment?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I guess I do feel like we are growing, and I feel like the pandemic and the world climate at the moment is kind of contained us into our own little bubble, if that makes sense, or definitely
Well,
it's
in a
not getting us
sense,
out.
we were globalized before, able to travel, but now are you
Yeah,
saying that we're now
we've kind of
gone back
shrunk
into
a
our
little bit.
bubbles? Yeah, I
Yeah,
see.
a
Yeah.
little bit, but I feel like we're transitioning out into, you know, pastime again, which is cool. But I mean, I can kind of talk from an Australian point of view. I definitely don't have as many, obviously, international artists coming over anymore. Haven't really been approached either anytime in the recent. So
Yeah.
I do hope that, you know, we can kind of expand to that again. But I think it's going to be work in progress for sure.
Yeah, cool. So just switching gears a little bit, I just want to know, like, what is your proudest moment so far as a barber?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do really cherish my obviously experience at LSB. It was short. It was a short time, but I guess like it kind of, yeah, it definitely matured me a little bit, like quite a lot, obviously. It gave me an experience that I wasn't able to get back home. So for that, yeah, obviously that's definitely been one of my proudest accomplishments. Obviously, as well as working with Wall, so fond of that, and I look forward to developing more of a relationship with them going forward. But yeah, just giving back, just educating and ticking off the boxes for sure. Obviously, opening up my own studio is something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm opening up second location soon as well, which I'm
But
super
in
excited
Perth?
about. Yeah, in Perth as well.
Nice.
But obviously, I wanna try to get around as much as I can. So yeah, we'll see how that
Yeah,
goes
so
with
you're
the
going to put your
education.
fingers in a few pies here with your shops, with the education.
Hopefully.
Yeah, nice. Why
Yeah,
not? You
yeah, definitely.
cool. So, have you found many difficult challenges having your own barbershop, or is it pretty
Yeah.
straightforward?
No, for sure. I think every day is a learning curve, right? I feel like um, I think the number one thing I kind of tell myself is just not to be complacent or anything like that. Kind of be grateful, but don't get stuck on an idea because it's likely that there could be a spanner that can swipe you out or just be a barrier. So I think the biggest challenge I've had is probably staff. However, yeah, like I said, I think if we get more international artists come over to Australia, then I'm probably one of the places that they
Yeah.
could approach as well.
Well, you hit a good point there in terms of like a staff, finding good staff and retaining good staff.
Mm.
It's not just in the barbering industry that we find this
Yeah,
challenging.
sure.
It's in hairdressing. It's also very challenging to find good staff and retain them. Do
Yeah.
you have a plan for the future where you can train good staff up and retain and perhaps retain them so they're kind of loyal, stay
For
with you,
sure.
build up their columns and essentially enjoy
Yeah,
where they work?
yeah, of course. I think business and personal development is something I'm obviously super relatable too. But I guess the moment I take on a new staff member, regardless of how long they've been in the industry, I guess we can always teach each other something, right? So I kind of guess I break it down to obviously a standard that I want to achieve in the workplace, in the shop, but also I'm kind of adaptive in the sense that I want to learn from them as well. So yeah, education and stuff is something that I like to do. We stream Charlie Gray videos actually weekly.
Yeah.
That keeps us a bit fueled, and also like to be hands-on too, get the mannequins out, go back to the fundamentals and just have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because
Mm,
like I said, the fundamentals, without the fundamentals, you've got nothing to build on.
absolutely. Yeah, I think we lose track of that too. I think with the way that the hair scene and the culture is going, we're kind of very adaptive to that modern kind of trend of styles and delivery as well, but without having the fundamentals, it's kind of you got to hustle that first.
Yeah. So the scene in Oz or Perth,
Mm.
has it progressed to modern day barbering? Demographically, is it out there now? Is it still hairdressing that's still dominating the
No,
marketplace?
I think it's actually, Perth's come a long way in the scene here. I definitely, prior to starting, I was a bit hesitant, concerned about my journey within the hair industry in Perth. But, it's come a long way. We're doing a lot more. I guess the style at the moment is a lot of mid-length. So probably, going back to the UK scene a couple of years ago is kind of where we're at the moment. But, it's adapting. And I'm getting a lot of education requests from hairdressers and stuff now as well, asking me to visit their studios and give them sort of short hair education. So I think that the community in itself it's coming a long way.
Fantastic.
Mm.
So I don't know if you noticed, but like post-pandemic, a lot of guys had longer hair. They couldn't get the haircuts. They grew it out, and
Yeah, for
some
sure.
stayed that way. Some went back to short haircuts, fades, for example. That's my observation in the UK. Would you say it was
Yeah.
similar in Oz? Like guys were just taking a little bit more time to come back to that, or wearing longer hair now?
Yeah, I don't know if like you guys had that mullet trend going around, but
we did. I didn't see that many people with it. A few people, but yeah, the mullet trend, you know, that came and went really quickly.
Yeah. No,
What's your
it
thoughts on
stayed
it?
around. It stayed around a while here, unfortunately, and I guess it still is around. I think the AFL like football scene, you know, kind of dominate that fashion as well, and that influence into the hair community. But yeah, I noticed a lot of mullets and modern mullets and mohawks and a lot of those kind of pastime trends coming back, and it was quite cool to see as well.
Yeah, we haven't seen that too many mohawks, but I'd love to see more mohawks. I thought that was a great haircut.
It's a fun time.
And obviously,
it's a fun time.
It was made popular by the likes of football players, i.e. David Beckham, back in the days.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Yeah, we see that a lot here as well.
Cool. So just a couple more questions before we wrap up.
Yeah. So,
sure. So just can you just remind us of your future plans? What do you see for yourself and your studios and your education for the future? What's your long-term plan?
What's my vision? Yeah, I guess that's a really good question. I guess I'm kind of I want to branch out to as many people as I can and hit as many people as I can too. Having a couple of shops is definitely a massive achievement. I'm super proud of that. But I guess realistically, I do want to become a little bit more global with my education and explore the world cutting hair. I think that's fun, and a lot of what we do. At the end of the day, it is about fun and passion and showing that to influence other people, and it's definitely something that I aspire to pursue for sure.
Cool. So anyone wanting to go into the barbering industry starting from scratch, is there anywhere in Oz that they can do that?
Yeah, so we do have like an apprenticeship pathway. It kind of consists of like 1 day a week kind of education at like a TAFE facility, so like a school, for example. And then 4 days a week is working on the shop floor, kind of facilitating or mannequin work with your workplace. It's nothing really is like, it's kind of a very long journey, and I think that kind of short course kind of progression isn't really here yet. So I do hope it does. I think like some people like to work quite intensively. I know I do personally. Learning it 1 day a week, 2 days a week, it doesn't really.
You don't get into the flow as much, do you? Don't get that momentum going.
Exactly.
You don't feel the progress as much.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way as well. So, if a newbie wants to start in Perth or in Australia, that's kind of the approach they have to take, unless they want to think outside the box and explore education elsewhere.
Okay. So if someone wanted to do a beginner course, there's nowhere in Australia that are offering that 9-week, 12-week.
Not that I believe. There might be a few like upskill programs and stuff. Definitely you'll see like a lot of like the premier barbershops and stuff offering those kind of upskill day sessions, week sessions and stuff. But it's not really, there's no accreditation at the end of that. That's just kind of like upskill.
As far as I'm aware, there isn't an official barbering accreditation in Australia. It's just the hairdressing. Am I mistaken?
I think they've recently converted to like a Cert 2 or a Cert 3 in barbering, but yeah, like I said, it's super new here. So prior to that was just like a Cert 3 in hairdressing, I believe.
Yeah, we need an LSB in Australia.
We do. Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, on that note, I'd just like to say thank you for taking the time out to speak to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors, whatever you do, whatever you're pursuing. Well, I think you're going to be, you're already a success. You're going to be even more a success. So thank you once again.
That. Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
See you, mate.
Bye-bye.